Elena was talking about, she didn't mention AI in her opening part of her speech. That was really interesting, and I welcomed it, because what she talked about was making the difference. What's the thing that you want to change? And for us in the BBC, there are some big questions about what happens to people in their lives and how we can help and how everyone should be helping themselves. And we thought we'd just write them down. And then over the next 10 days, the team will work with you to try and figure out, well, which one do you want to focus in on? Which idea do you want to pick? Which question do you want to try and answer? And just to help you make sense of it. So the first one, how can we use AI to help people figure out if the time they're spending online is time well spent? And I'll give you a little example of that. So I'm always on my phone checking different sports. I'm a big Man United fan. We lost yesterday. I'm gutted by that, but still I had to watch the result and the game. And then I've also been watching the documentary series on Manchester City. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It was really interesting. I don't support them, but it was interesting to see what they're doing. And I ended up watching one episode and then 3 and then 5, and it just carrying on. And it came to a point where I was figuring out, is this really good use of my time or not? I wasn't quite sure. And so we're starting to see that happen a lot. And Alison is going to take you through some of these questions a bit later on this afternoon.
So this afternoon we're just going to do a session around, time well spent, well-being and technology and how that all fits together.
So one of the areas that you'll potentially be exploring on the next 10 days is this one. Secondly, we wanted to know, there's so much information out there. Whether you're reading something, watching a video, listening to a bit of audio, music, how do you know if it's true or false online? And over the last year or two, we've started to see synthetic voice, synthetic video becoming something that's a bit more normal, a bit more all around us. It used to be the case that you had to go and watch a big Hollywood blockbuster to see some computer-generated effects. And it used to take the budgets of big Hollywood blockbusters to do that. That's not the case anymore. And so again, throughout the day and over the next couple of days, Alison and the team are going to take you through some examples of this. But the question for us is, well, if that's going to be part and parcel of all of our lives, how will we be able to know what's real and what's false? What's true, what isn't? And so one of the other areas that hopefully you guys can help explore and figure out some of the answers to is, what is true and false online? And this ties into the work that Alison's been doing around well-being, and we've noticed, and a lot of our data shows that when we've surveyed people, that actually online experiences, when we go online, most of us have a good time, but it's not the same for everyone, and it's almost like the playground, right? So people go off in their groups, some groups are really inclusive, everyone's having fun, but other groups are exclusive, people are left out. Sometimes they can feel bullied, they can feel like they're not in part of the fun crowd, they can feel like, actually, I don't have a voice, how do I get heard? It doesn't feel fair. And one of the things we want you guys to really help us understand is, what could you use the power of AI for around that question? How do you make sure that the experience all of us have is a little bit more fair online, so that we're not excluding anyone? And then finally, just building on that earlier question about, well, we're starting to see fake videos and fake audio or synthetic videos coming through, sometimes being used for good, sometimes not. But also the fact that the internet's just full of loads and loads of information, tons of it. And it's so useful as you're searching around. If you want to learn, if I wanted to learn how to be a plumber, why, I don't know, but if I did, I could just go to YouTube right now and watch some videos and figure out, well, how to be a plumber. How do I know the person who's giving me a lesson is any good? How do I figure out that if I'm doing some homework or if I'm doing some research for a report, that the information that I'm searching for is accurate, is right? So it's really difficult with all of this information to figure out what you should spend your time on, what's accurate, what's useful, what's going to help you and achieve whatever the thing is you're researching. So that's the other area, part of the story of AI. And so as things develop, if anyone tells you that the story's ended today, you've got all of the answers, that's not true. So by the time that you start to work on these over the next 10 days, by the time you get through school, through university, if you want to go further, all of these developments in AI are just going to carry on developing. And you've got a choice. You can decide what role you want to play in that. So Sinead talked about her job as a project manager and doing some strategy. My UX colleagues talked about design. Alison talked about the work that she does in the Blue Room with Jacob. I talked about my job and what I want to do when I join the BBC. But jobs are going to matter less and less. I think, with AI. What's going to matter is the difference you want to make. So it comes back to what Elena was saying. So the big thing about being interested in AI right now is AI provides you with a superpower. You can decide what you want to use AI for. And if it's to solve some of the questions we put on screen, or to follow up on some of the things you wrote on this banana, then that's great, because deciding what impact you want to make, what difference you want to make, I think that's your career. I feel, if I was at your position, that's what I'd be asking myself. My career isn't going to be any one job, it'd be what difference do I want to make. And I think we've talked at you enough right now, so we should take a break, let you sort of relax a little bit, and then